Hello YouTube, it's Rob, Maxwells Grass Cutting Services, based in the northeast of England. I hope everybody is well and having a really good day, better than I'm having in the northeast. It's rained all day and we haven't earned a penny, but such is life. So I'm back off my holidays. I had a week off with the wife and 2 daughters. We hired a cottage down in Wiltshire. Had a lovely week, did some walking, went and saw some old friends from the military. It was lovely. Just have a nice break, get away. It's nice to have a change of scenery, isn't it, and give the body a rest. But I've come back this week raring to go, and it's been tough because the rain in the northeast has been horrific, and I'm sure it's been no better where you are. The forecast is terrible this week and next week. Then hopefully it improves, but hey, that's life, isn't it? But today's video, I've secured that large commercial contract. Now, this is going to get a few comments, sort of contradictory. Now, it's a full day every week, and I put a price in, and I went, and there's over 2,500 square meters of lawn to cut, and then there's hedge work, but there's loads of work to do. And when I went, I thought, oh, I'm not sure about this. But it's a vehicle dealership near to my home address, and I'm sure the contract doesn't come up very often. And I thought, you know what, every week, close to my home address, plus winter work. So I went over, spoke to the person who represents the company, and in my mind, I'll be honest, my mind was racing. I didn't know whether to put a day price in. I didn't know whether to put a price in for mowing the lawns. Then they said they want the hedge done 3 times a year, and they want sort of weed spraying. And I just said, oh, this is complicated. So I did something I've never done before, and you're going to laugh. I went for an hourly rate. And what I said was, I anticipate approximately 35 visits a year, weekly, between sort of early March until the end of October. That's a 35 week season, but I always take at least 1 or 2 weeks off, and then you lose 2 weeks for the rain or the weather, and then 5 visits over the winter month, November, December, January, February, monthly visit, and then start again. So it'll be approximately 35 visits a year, and I've done from 10 AM till 5 or from 9 AM till 4, 7 hours on site, 7 hours. I've then got to load the van, get there, get back, and do the thing. I wasn't going to kill myself. 7 hours is hard enough graph when you'll see what I've got to do, and I'll get you some footage further down the track. And so I put a price in, and the price was, I put a labour price in for the 7 hours, and then I put a price in for any waste that I need to take off site, an additional price for any weed spraying, selected herbicide, pesticide. And they come back and said yes. It was a bit of a pain with the risk assessments. I had to do a cost risk assessment for the weed spraying, a bit more detailed than I've done historically. So I went online, did a bit of research and knocked that out. Did some other forms that was relative to this company, and they're happy thus far. But I haven't up to there. And how am I going to cope? Well, what I've done is I have another commercial contract which I'll be doing on a Saturday morning now. So I'll be doing all week as normal, and then working a Saturday morning. And then the others I've squeezed into sort of the other 4 remaining days. And I'm going to do that till the end of the season, because it's a 30-day invoicing schedule. And everything can be wonderful, can't it? Rosy in the garden, pardon the pun. But you never know till 3-4 months down the line, do you, whether it's going to work. And because it's such a big contract, I don't want to get rid of any of my other customers. Plus, I want to be loyal to them till the end of the season. Then we'll review it. But why did I take it on? Well, I've said it before. The phone went, and it was a subscriber who says never turn down commercial work. Always have a look at it. And I spoke to the representative, and I thought, oh, that would be nice. It's a nice place to work. And I went and had a look, and I just thought, yeah, I want this. So I put a bid in, not too high, not too low, you know, quite competitive. And anyway, it's done, and I've done a couple of visits. I was supposed to be there today, but I didn't go because it was forecast for heavy rain. I got up, started loading the van and the heavens opened, and it was that rain where you just think this is too much, and it's not stopped all day. And it's now around tea time and it's just stopped, but the grounds are soaked. You'd cause more damage today than sort of how much work you get done. So it's not been the best start, because I had a week off last week and I've rained off this week, but I've emailed them and they understand, and we'll see how it goes. So I've got a commercial contract on an hourly rate, big garden, something I said I didn't like, but it just shows you need to be flexible in this game, and if something comes up, you grab it with both hands. And we'll see how it gets on, and I hope it's going to be a long relationship with me and the customer. And I like the winter work, the fact that I've got 5 visits, and they said, if you need more, Rob, just come. And I went, right, seems fair enough, but we'll see. And I'll tell you as it goes. And people who follow the channel, I'm dead honest, and I'll tell you whether it's worked out well or it hasn't worked out. But fingers crossed it does, and it gives you a nice 1 day a week, 5 minutes from the home address, there all day. The only downside is you have to wait for your money. Fingers crossed it'll be okay. I've got other commercial contracts where when I first started doing them, the money was a little bit slow coming through. So I emailed the person saying, look, I'm a one-person company, sole trader. It's very difficult to have this much money lying on. Could you please encourage the accounts to sort of be a little bit more forthcoming with payments? And they were brilliant. And so hopefully I don't need to do that with this one, but if I do, I will, and I'll be polite, and we'll see how we get on. And I hope it works out well, and I'll get some footage further down the track. I'll just get my feet in the door first, then I'll ask them, is it okay to take a few photographs and a few images for my social media, and we'll see what they say. And hopefully they'll say yes, and I'll show you where I'm working. It's got a beautiful view from where it is as well. But that's me news. Commercial contract in the bag, all day, big garden, on an hourly rate. Everything I said I wouldn't do, I've done. But sometimes I've watched other YouTubers, and I watch Carl from DuckTales, and he talks a lot of sense. And I did a video about I don't do hourly rates, I do this and I do that. And then a few other YouTubers did how they do commercial work on an hourly rate. Whether it was in response to what I did, I don't know. I wouldn't have thought so. But it got me thinking. I thought, you know what, they're right. If you're on a commercial job and it's like 7 hours, how do you it's very challenging to say what you're going to do every day, all day. But if you give them an hourly rate, a day rate for the 7 hours, and then you say you're going to be there approximately 35 visits a year, extra for this, extra for that. It's all written down. Everybody knows, where they are, and fingers crossed it'll work out. But yeah, so I'm pleased with that. I'm not pleased with the weather at the moment, but everything else seems to be going along nicely. I've got a busy now, August, September, October, and then early November, and the season's done, isn't it? But I needed a break. My body started to sort of tell me I've got a bit of a tennis elbow. Do you get that? Oh, it's sore, isn't it? My hips were hurting. I was getting a bit grumpy, a bit bad-tempered. And I just thought, Rob, it's time for a break, because I was tired and exhausted. We were working in the heat in June, weren't we? It was horrific. And then I know July's been a bit of a washout across the country. We haven't been that bad in the northeast. We've had wet weather, but now it's horrific, the wet weather. I'm fed up of it, and I just want it to go away, and I want a bit of dry weather so I can get some work done, put a bit of money in the bank for the winter. But fingers crossed it will improve. But what a contradiction from this time last year. I was looking at my Facebook memories, and this time last year we were worried about the green gold stopping growing here in the northeast, and putting some lawns back to 3 weeks instead of fortnightly. 12 months on, my God, the green gold's growing all right. Unbelievable. It's just too wet to get on. But there you go. Anyway, that's enough from me today. I just wanted to check in, say I'm back from my holidays, business as usual. Going to try and put out some loads of footage. I've had requests from subscribers to do videos on certain topics. I'll get them done, I promise. There's other topics people have asked me to do, especially mulching. Mulching seems very, very popular, and I've got a couple of videos of that coming out, and we're going to have a discussion about mulching mowers and other things as well. So thanks very much. Thanks for everybody who watches the channel, subscribes and follows me on my journey. You know, it's good. I like it, and I love reading your comments. They're an education in themselves, so all the best. So until next time, remember, when the green gold's growing, keep mowing. It's growing at the minute, but we cannot mow because it's too wet. Fingers crossed for a bit of dry weather. Take care. See you soon. All the best.